Yo, what up, everybody? Mac, aka your boy. It's been a minute since I hit you guys up. Well, first of all, let me just welcome you to episode 2 of my anime centered podcast entitled Eat the Cake Anime, right? Um, so, I know my last podcast was about a week and a half ago. My apologies, I did not mean for it to take so long in between, especially being a big anime junkie as myself. But there's a lot of things going on. Schedules were getting conflicted and things like that. But I didn't want you guys to think that I forgot all about talking about anime. I'm trying to grow a nice little community talking about it. I know there's a lot of groups out there on social media talking about it, a lot of podcasts out there. I follow them, I like them. I've been on my podcast kick lately, so I've been listening to a lot of different anime podcasts, get my anime knowledge game up. But if you could not tell by the music in the beginning, and you could kind of hear it in the background, I don't want to have it too loud, but it's just the Bleach openings that I have playing, because I know I kind of dabbled into Bleach my first episode when I was telling everybody how I got into anime. But I just want to go over and rank my top 5 fights in the series. And I'm doing this because I feel like Bleach gets a bad rap, right? It was one of the better animes that I have seen. And I may be biased because it was the first anime that I started watching on my own, not somebody saying, hey, sit down and watch this. It was something that I discovered on my own, and I just became engrossed into the story, all the arcs and things like that. I had one of the biggest plot twists I never saw coming. Some of the best fights, the emotions in these fights. So I decided to give you guys my top 5 fights in Bleach. A lot of people will probably agree with this list. A lot of these are probably some of the more popular fights. The rankings may be off, but again, this is my personal list of the top 5 Bleach battles. Before I get started, I just want to let you know I am currently on social media. I got YouTube, Mac, aka your boy, as the shirt says. Shout out to my man, Michael Foster, who designed this nice logo for me. He has another logo. I'm trying to get another shirt made, but good looking out, Mike. I appreciate it. You've done more for me than you know, man. Thanks. But yeah, I'm on YouTube, Mac, aka your boy. Also on Facebook, Mac, aka your boy. And I am on Instagram at Mac underscore, aka underscore your boy. I'm trying to start a page just for this podcast, so all my anime heads can just go to that page and we can just chop it up about whatever anime is going on. I am up. Side note, before I get into this, season 1 of Demon Hunter ended this Saturday on a very I don't want to say climactic, but they are setting the tone for the next one really nice, the Affinity Train arc, and they just got a movie that was greenlit, so I can't wait for that. I mean, now that I am in Phoenix, I love that I can go to these theaters and check out these anime movies, because when I was over back in Panama City, Florida, that was not happening. I would have to drive to like Tallahassee or something like that. So being in a bigger city is definitely amazing, so I can go and check out these anime movies like I want to. So with that being said, let me get into my top 5 fights in Bleach. So number 5, we have Ichigo versus Aizen, the final battle. And I know because it is the final battle between the main protagonist and the main antagonist, a lot of people would assume that it'd be higher up on my list, right? And that is the right word, assumption, right? Because once you say the final battle between the two main characters in this show, you're thinking it's going to be an epic build-up and an epic battle that'll take episodes and episodes and episodes. But not taking anything away from it. It was an okay ending to the Rancor arc, but the I don't know, the whole fight was so short. Um, like the increase in power throughout the fight. It was about a good 10-11 minute fight. It was just almost getting out of hand, if that makes sense. Ichigo shows up in his super final form, right? Because he's about to execute the final Getchuga Tenshu, right? And Aizen, he has achieved the perfect balance between Hollow and Soul Reaper and everything, which was his plan from. If you haven't watched it yet, I feel like I'm gonna spoil stuff for you, but it's an anime that's been out for a while, so um, even if I do spoil anything, going back to watch it, it's probably not going to do anything to uh, take away any of the actual emotion and stuff that you'll get out of it. But so they both achieve these high forms. Um, the funny thing is how Aizen is taken aback by how powerful Ichigo has. Because remember, Ichigo isn't like a bred Soul Reaper. He was a substitute Soul Reaper who got his powers bestowed to him or borrowed powers from Rukia back all the way in episode 1 of this series. So the fact that he can level up and power up as far as he has gotten into the series is just blowing people's minds. But this fight was pretty good. Um, it was more of Aizen just trying to overpower Ichigo and being shocked at how powerful Ichigo is. Amazed that Ichigo can keep up with his escalation of power, seeing how Ichigo should not have even come close to where he is, being that he's a substitute Soul Reaper. It ends kind of poorly with Ichigo using his final Getchuga Tenshu, which consequently takes all of his Soul Reaper powers and drains him of all his spiritual energy. And Aizen is starting to regen. However, in his weakened state, I forgot his name, Yukihara, shows up and casts a sealing Hadu on him. And then he just starts sealing himself up, and then he is contained in a hex. And that's kind of how it ends. And it's not a great ending, but it's number 5 because, it wraps up one of the better story arcs in an anime that I have seen. So, with number 5 out of the way, number 4, as far as my rankings go for best fights, is Ishida Yurihara, the Quincy versus I think it's Mayurgi, and it is the research and development captain of the Soul Society, the creepy captain, and that is probably one of the memorable fights for me because that is the first time, as you're watching the show, that you see the actual second form of the Zanpakuto, which is the Bankai, right? All throughout the series leading up to this, we just saw the initial release form, right? So the Zanpakuto is their sword. They release it, it changes the form, so that is the Shikai. That is the first form. Bankai is the next form, so the next release of power from their sword. So in this one, Urihara, the Quincy, so the guy who's shooting the bows and arrows, right? The sworn enemy of Soul Reapers, who is in the Soul Society, is trying to help Ichigo save Rukia, right? And this is in the Soul Society arc, which is another beautiful, well written and well drawn. I mean, it's just a beautiful piece of anime. However, he arrives to save Orihime, who runs into the captain, and he is about to, blow them up. I mean, he is a captain, so obviously his spirit level is way higher than most, or probably higher than anybody that they have come across so far, right? So, and up to this point, Ichigo has been the one who just, powers up and just gets through. He's like the Goku of the arc or of the anime. So when a overpowered, very strong squad captain is fighting, Ishida, you almost kind of think like, yo, this is a lost cause. Ichigo has to come up and save him. But uh, little do we know that this Quincy has some tricks up his sleeve, right? And it's an emotional battle because as he's fighting, Mayurgi is constantly telling him, "Oh, you're a Quincy. Uh, I know some things about Quincy's because we researched them. The last Quincy we had was an old dude. He kept calling out somebody's name, and he's telling him this after he has already kind of cut his arm and kind of dead it a little bit because his power of his Zanpakuto is like it has a poison that deadens the nerves, so you can't move them, but you can feel pain. So the dude is he's kind of a crazy sadistic kind of dude. But so he's telling Ishida all this stuff, and it turns out the last Quincy that he operated on that died was Ishida's grandfather, who trained him in the ways of a Quincy. So now, you know, Ishida gets up and he's powered up, and he starts you know really taking it to the next level as a Quincy. He breaks his amulet, which he's not supposed to do, which gives him an overflow of spiritual pressure, absorbing spiritual pressure, right? The downside to that is he can lose his Quincy powers forever, but he decides that it's worth it to get revenge for his grandfather. Miyorgi quickly realizes that this dude's power has amped up. So he calls his Bankai, and it throws Ishida off because he has never seen anything like that. He's like, you already released your Zanpakuto, and he calls out this Bankai, and it's that huge baby-headed, sword belly, poison spewing, razor halo thing. It is the weirdest looking Bankai, but it is so epic because it's the first time you see a release like that from the sword. But the ending is Ishida actually powering up, shooting an arrow that splits this Bankai in half and like almost destroys Mayorgi, but he gets away. So that was a pretty epic battle. I like that one only because Ichigo was the one that was getting all the shine, and it was good to see somebody else power up and come through, and then also to get revenge for his grandfather who was killed by that sadistic son of a bitch. So that was a good look. All right, battle number 3 for me is Ichigo versus Grimjow. This is also in the Arrancar arc, and this is the final form because they fought before. Ichigo does cut off Grimjow's arm in the first fight. So Grimjow is just, he is one of the Espada that is not following Aizen, right? He is kind of a rebellious dude. He is hell-bent on fighting Ichigo again, getting revenge for whatever happened, right? So Ichigo cuts off his arm. They kidnap Orihime. Orihime heals his arm. It comes back. And he is just waiting for his chance to get at Ichigo. And when he gets to Ichigo, he goes full release in his Espada mode. And he is just a beast. Like, literally, he transforms into a, like, I don't know, a jaguar type cat form. Speed is off the chart. He has no sword, which was odd because a lot of the Espadas, when they fight, they have a sword and they release it, kind of like a Zanpakuto, right? But Grimjaw is just a raw, just turns into like a cougar, a jaguar or something, and it is a pretty good battle. Ichigo already has his Bankai and everything, and he has trained a step further to go into what they call hollowification, where he kind of blends between a Soul Reaper and a Hollow. Again, one of those things where Soul Reapers are just like, yo, this dude's power is off the chart. We can't do shit like that, and this dude is doing this. And he's a substitute Soul Reaper, you know? So that battle is pretty good. It's one of those battles where you're watching it and you see how intense Ichigo is and how determined he is to save his friends because they're there to save Orihime, and that is his driving force. Like, he does not want to let his friends down. And don't get me wrong, like, he is getting his ass beat for a few minutes. There's a couple moments in here where you're like, my man's not gonna make it. Like, he's gonna have to level up to another power, but he's fighting, and then Orihime does the standard, don't die on me, Ichigo yell, and that's when he gets his second wind, and then the battle gets pretty intense there. There's some moments where you're like, oh shit, Ichigo got him. Then Grimjow reverse it, be like, oh shit, he don't got it. So that is a pretty good battle, especially when they dive into Grimjow's backstory of how he was kind of like an abandoned, hollow out there, and he survived by eating other hollows, and then he evolved into the Espada that he is, and yeah, I mean, it is a great story, and a great fight. Huh. With that being said, fight number 3 out the way. Fight number 2. Yep, fight number 2. There's probably a good idea on who you guys are thinking this fight is between, and I will just let you know right now that it is between Ichigo and Yokiora, right? So, again, Arrancar arc, great arc. And the funny thing is, like, after Ichigo busts his ass defeating Grimjow, he's like, all right, I can save my friend Orihime. We can get up out of here. Yokiora shows up, and this dude is next level. Like, it is amazing how strong this dude is. Like, this is the first time where you're looking at Ichigo like, yo, like, somebody better come help this dude. Because he ain't gonna make it. This dude is on another level strength wise. Ichigo, like, when they first start off, Ichigo is in his Bankai mode, and he's going toe for toe with Yokiora. But the thing is, Yokiora is like in his base mode. Like, he is not released. Like, he hasn't released his Espada powers or anything like that. So that in and of itself lets you know that, yeah, Ichigo is probably in over his head, and he was. Because this fight is probably this would probably be fight 1A for some people, right? This would probably be top fight for most people, but for me it's close second, man. It is a close second, because in this one, like, this dude actually kills Ichigo. Like, Ichigo dies, but then he is brought back by his hollow powers to a super extent, to where, like, he loses control of like his senses and stuff, and it's just full violence, hollow Bleach, hollow Ichigo, and this dude turns the table so fast on Yokiora, it is ridiculous. Yokiora is destroying Ichigo the whole time. Ichigo is giving him everything. It's to the point Yokiora is like, yo, show me your strongest move. Power up as strong as you can get. Show me your strongest move so I can show you the difference in our powers. And, like, you can tell Ichigo is shook, because nobody talks game like that unless they bout it. So Ichigo's like, man, I can't do that, because if I give him that, then he'll automatically know, yo, I got you. You know what I'm saying? So when he's backed into a corner, Ichigo actually releases it. Yukiora's like, oh, is that it? You gotta go. So yeah, and then he ends up shooting Ichigo right through the chest. But like I said, Ichigo comes back and murks this dude as Hollow Ichigo. It is an incredible fight. Well worth it's probably about 2.5 episodes or something, and it's not like Dragon Ball 2.5 episodes where somebody's just yelling and powering up. It is a legit fight, and it is worth it, right? So that is out the way. Drum roll. I wish I had a drum roll sound effect, but here is my number 1 fight in the Bleach franchise. So, fight number 1, the best fight that I've witnessed in watching Bleach, is Ichigo versus Byakuya in the Soul Society arc, when Ichigo first reveals his Bankai. Dog, if you watch Bleach, and, like, this isn't in your top 3, like, I would dare say top 2, but other people have, favorite fights. Like, there are a lot of good fights during the Arrancar arc, like when the Arrancar come to the real world, and there's fights between captains and the Espadas and all that stuff, because the Espadas are like the Arrancar captains, right? So, I mean, there's some pretty good fights, but the emotion, all of the feelings that went into that first fight because Ichigo is so like, that's the one thing I like about Ichigo. And it's a lot of anime protagonists, like they're just like, my friends need me, I gotta come through. My friends need me, I gotta come through. But for some reason, like, because I think that was the first anime like I really got into. Like I watched Dragon Ball Z, you know, but it was more for like, oh, let me just see the fights, you know. Um, there are a couple of like super impactful moments in Dragon Ball Z, like when Goku first goes Super Saiyan to defeat Frieza because he killed Krillin. That's kind of what this was in Bleach. But like seeing how I watched Ichigo from no powers to get to where he is now to save Rukia, like, and my man shows up like, oh my god, man, he shows up and Byakuya is there, and like Byakuya is already like murked like three people with his power, his impact, his Bankai actually, which is pretty dope. So Ichigo goes away, trains, comes back. Right before they execute Rukia, he blocks the blade with his sword, and then he like pick. Oh my god! Like y'all have to, like, the video will be playing on here. Y'all gotta see it, man. It is dope. I don't think that part. I don't think I have that part on the video, but just that moment, and all the captains are just like, yo, like there's something up with this dude. Byakuya doesn't care because he's like the smooth dude, right? He's like, yo, I'm gonna kill this dude. But the thing is, like, Ichigo is so cocky because he knows he has this power now. He's like, yo, Byakuya, use your Bankai. I'm gonna make you use your Bankai. But Byakuya is looking at this dude like, he's not worthy of my Bankai. I don't need to do this. You're a substitute Soul Reaper. I should be able to kill you regularly. And when he sees the power that Ichigo has, man, yo, my man quickly is like, oh, so you want to see Bankai? Real quick. He drops that sword, calls up his Bankai. Then at first, Ichigo's like, yo, I don't think I was ready for this. But turns out he is. And then when he finally releases his Bank, I mean, it was like foreplay. Like, you were just waiting for this dude to unleash. And when he finally unleashes his Bankai, the power that comes through, it was almost like like he was backed up and my man was just like, Bankai, boom. Yo, Byakuya did not know what was going on. That man was trying to hit him with everything. He was like, if I use two hands to control my Bankai, I can get my man. Ichigo was there about that action. Tensha Zangetsu, that's the Bankai. My man had, oh my gosh. Like, y'all have to watch that. You guys have to watch it because it is, oh my god. It is, I wish, I can't, if I was to write it down, it would sound like poetic. But I'm just doing this off of raw, off the top emotion. Like, thinking about it again, like, makes me want to rewatch the Soul Society story arc. I mean, it was the perfect ending. And then at the end of their fight is the big twist where probably one of the best twists in any anime that I've seen. But yeah, we'll just end it at that. Those are my top 5 Bleach fights. If you guys agree, let me know in comments. If you guys don't agree, let me know in the comments. Or if you guys have some honorable mentions, I could have probably went through and threw a couple honorable mentions in there. But I will just say, everybody's different. My top 5 are probably not your top 5. So if you disagree, or, I mean, if you haven't watched it, just watch a couple. If you want, just let me know. I can drop you the episode numbers that these fights are in, and you can just browse those real quick without having to watch all of the story. But I'm telling you, the story actually leads into the fights. Like, the fights are more memorable when you have a little backstory on the actual characters and their motivations for the fighting. But yeah, those are Mac, aka your boys, top 5 Bleach fights. If you disagree, like I said, throw it in the comments. If you do agree, let me know how great I am at picking these fights. Mac, aka your boy, on Facebook, Mac _aka_ your boy on IG. and then of course the YouTube. If you're watching the video version on YouTube, you'll see the videos on the side of the fights as I'm talking about them. It's not going to be the whole fight. You'll just get to see some of the action in the fights. And hopefully that may turn you back into checking back in with Bleach, because I feel like it is a very underestimated anime. I feel like it has been forgotten about because towards the end of its run as an anime, the writers kind of fell off, the animation fell off, the stories just weren't the same. Even in the mangas, if you look at the mangas, mangas, it's late. If you look at those, you can see the actual artistry just falling off, even within the books. So I think they knew is dying down. I think the author was just tired of writing, and they just kind of let it fade into oblivion. So just go back and look at the earlier seasons of it, man, and appreciate it for what it was. It was discussed and it was in the debate as a top 3 anime for a reason. You know, it's not just because no other anime was out there. So just give it a look, and just let me know what you guys think. Again, this has been Eat the Cake Anime, and hopefully it won't be another 10 days before the next episode, because there's a lot of good anime out there. My Hero is starting back up this month. If you're not excited about that, I mean, it's good timing because Demon Slayer just ended, and I'm looking for a new one. Fire Force isn't coming back until 2 Saturdays from now, the 11th. So there's another one I'm looking forward to. So there's a lot of animes I want to talk to you guys about. So we'll just keep this one short, and then I promise I will come with another pause. I promise I will bring another episode where we can talk more anime stuff. Probably do a season 1 recap of Demon Slayer, or just start talking about my top 5 fights for My Hero Academia, since that's coming back up. And I know you guys already know what my top fight is in My Hero Academia. If you don't know, y'all better get on that show. If you think you know what it is, throw it in the comments, man. I like to see that. Throw it in the comments. But I'm pretty sure I can guess what everybody's top fight is in My Hero Academia leading up to now. It was beautifully done too. Oh my god. Anime is so gorgeous. Anyway, if you know anybody who likes anime, feel free to introduce them to this podcast, my YouTube channel. Like I said, once I get these pages up for the anime, where we can just chat and do whatever anime related stuff, I'll make sure to put that out there and let you guys know too, man. I love people who love anime, man. I love, because it just lets me know they don't take themselves too serious to sit down and watch anime. Because I mean, you got people watching Family Guy, you got people watching a lot of American Dad and stuff like that. And I mean, it sucks that people who watch anime get looked at in a different light. But I like how we got each other's backs, man. I like how we got each other's backs, and how we can sit down and have a great discussion about it. Because I mean, it's almost like a TV show. It's almost like people watch Game of Thrones and stuff, man. It's like no different. Sit down and just recap on some of the best storytelling, some of the best animated things that are on TV right now. So let me stop rambling, let you guys go. Thanks for tuning in. It's been Mac, aka your boy, top 5 Bleach Fights, and hopefully the next episode will be coming within the next 5 days, because I feel like I owe you guys some more anime material. So you guys take care. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Have a great one. Holla at your boy.